Welcome to another episode of the Talk to Fedora podcast, chatting about hard-hitting, honest entrepreneur wisdom that you can use to grow your small business. I'm your host, Jarrod Goldsmith from eSAX, the Entrepreneur Social Advantage Experience. And today, we're very pleased to be welcoming serial entrepreneur Blessing Okoro on our segment today. Blessing Okoro is a dynamic multi-business entrepreneur, digital strategist, and mom on a mission to help women own their voice and their brand. She's the founder of Web Wonder Girl, a bold and empowering creative studio specializing in strategic websites, visual branding, and marketing systems for female entrepreneurs. Her signature offer, the Website in a Day, delivers high-converting websites without the fluff, designed for women who want results and fast. Blessing is also the force behind Vibe 360 Photo Booth, a luxury photo booth company known for its high-end print and Vogue-style booths that elevate weddings and corporate events. Her third venue, True Backdrops, is a rising e-commerce brand supplying custom backdrops and photo booth gear to creatives across North America. With no formal education in business, Blessing built all three brands from the ground up while raising a young family, growing her team, and navigating the demands of motherhood and entrepreneurship with clarity, confidence, and community. She's passionate about simplifying the path to success for her other business owners through automation, branding, and unapologetic storytelling. Wow, Blessing, that's really a handful. You're such an inspiration. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited and honored to be here. Thank you.
Wonderful. Every time I talk to you, you're just so efficient and so good at what you do. It's such a pleasure to have you on our podcast.
Thank you so much.
So, Blessing, let's start off. Where are you calling in from, please?
I am located in Ottawa, the capital city, and I live in the Stittsville neighborhood in Ottawa. Yes.
Oh, very good. Yeah, that's a growing area.
Yeah.
Blessing, let's start a little bit. You said that you have no formal training in business. So how did you decide to go into entrepreneurship? What was your story like?
Well, honestly, I just wanted freedom. I wanted control over my time and my income and the kind of work that I do. So I just decided to take a risk and start something to help myself. So each business that I start, it serves a different purpose, but all of that, my goal really is freedom and
Yes.
having control of my own time.
Yeah, we hear that a lot when we start talking to entrepreneurs about why they started. And a lot of the times we hear, I want to have my 3-day or 4-day work weeks. I want to spend time
Mhm.
with my family. I want to travel more. But it's a lot of work building a brand in business.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not been easy, but I just decided to take a risk and it worked out, thankfully.
Wonderful. Well, everybody says entrepreneurs are risk takers at heart. So, Blessing, who would resonate most with your story that we're sharing today?
Definitely women who are juggling ambition and their real life, moms, multi-business owners, anyone really chasing a big goal while managing a lot behind the scenes. So I would definitely say people who want freedom and impact. I would say women who are juggling a lot with their lives, moms, multi-business owners, and people who are chasing big dreams while managing a lot behind the scenes. So
Yeah,
I would say people that want freedom and want to make impact in the world.
sure. Have you always had an interest in web design?
Yes, I actually fell into it in high school, just out of being someone who wasn't very popular. I ended up working a lot in the library while other people were outside. And I just discovered it all through the world of fan sites. So I was a huge fan of John Legend when I was a young girl. And I ended up running probably one of his biggest fan sites. And I learned web design, coding, all of that just through my love of music and running a fan club for John Legend. This is a
Oh,
very
that's so cool. Did you ever have a
funny
chance
story.
to chat with him or pursue that?
Not really. He followed us on socials. I think that was the most interaction, is just him reposting stuff from our fan club, but never had a conversation with him at all.
Well, not yet. Maybe one day.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Wow.
Yeah.
And is your family supportive? Because we hear people starting businesses, and yes, it takes a time crunch.
Yes.
You know, what's that like when you said to your family, "Hey, you know what? I want to go into a business or open another or third business."
Yes. Well, when I wanted to move away from nursing, which is what my family wanted me to do, I decided that I wanted to get into marketing. And at that time, it wasn't really a popular career path. So she tried to encourage me to continue on the path of nursing, but she very quickly was very supportive once I, started getting traction. But once I became a really popular website designer and all of that, every little business I start has come with great support from my family. My photo booth and my web design and my backdrop company, it's all very supported by my husband and my family.
Well,
So
that's a wonderful background to have because both
yeah,
nursing and web design and photo booth, you're all helping people.
yes,
You're
yes,
giving back. Yeah.
for sure.
Talk about collaboration, Blessing. I mean, you can't do it all alone. Nobody can. When we talk about people who need, everybody needs a website these days.
Yeah.
Can people do it? Well, maybe if they want to spend a couple of hundred or thousands of hours learning it, or
Mhm.
like accounting or bookkeeping or all that. How important is the concept of collaboration for you?
I personally would say that it's everything. It's honestly like a shortcut. You get to learn from other people's experiences and tap into their networks and helps grow you faster.
Hmm.
So I'm not a believer in gatekeeping. If we work together, we both win and succeed. So I think anyone who wants to succeed in business needs to have the collaboration spirit.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Just talking about this really warms my heart because I'm so pleased that you're actually doing all three of my websites. So this is such a great collaboration. So I love this, Blessing. Thank you.
Yes.
What about some networking tips? You go to events, you go to women entrepreneur functions. Would you care to share some networking tips and how networking has benefited you?
I would say stop aiming for big connections and start building real relationships with people. So honestly, the best opportunities come from unexpected places. So show up to the networking events, but also follow up. Make those people that you speak to feel seen. Don't just show up for yourself and try to collect information, but you need to follow up with them, be interested in what they have to say, what's going on in their lives. I love adding people on Facebook after I meet them at a networking event and just keeping up with them. So that would be my biggest tip, is to build a real connection with the people you're meeting.
Right. I mean, that's such an important aspect. So many people go to network events and they say, I have to get 20 business cards today, or I have to give out 30. And they just go
Yeah.
around and throw business cards. And I don't think many people realize, like you do, the
Hmm.
concept of relationship building.
Yes,
Just somebody,
absolutely.
you're at a networking event and somebody says, "Hey, I like your haircut. Send me a contract for my website." Well, it doesn't happen that way.
Right.
Yeah, and just meeting people for the first time, the second time, the third time, you see in different circumstances, it builds more of that trust factor, that relationship. Because when you give
Absolutely.
somebody access to represent your brand online, yeah, you have to really
Absolutely.
trust the person.
Absolutely. And if you build real relationships with people, then they can be honest when referring you
Yeah.
and, give the person they're referring you to some peace of mind, knowing that, you're not just referring me because you got my business card at an event, but, we went bowling and afterwards I followed up and we've been friends on Facebook, and you can genuinely speak to my character. And that, I would hire someone who a friend tells me about versus someone who was just recommended to me because they found my business card on the street or at an event. So it really goes a longer way when you build friendships outside of just handing people your business card.
Oh, I love it. This is right up my alley. Wonderful, wonderful knowledge. Thank you, Blessing. What
Yeah.
about mentorship or coaching? Did you ever have a coach or a mentor that you could bounce ideas off? Maybe not your family, maybe someone who's already been through the trenches.
Well, honestly, I've just been learning from people who have been where I want to go
Hmm.
and who aren't afraid of being honest with me. So if you can't find the perfect mentor, you can still self-mentor through courses and the people around. I learn a lot from just business owners who I'm around. For example, I come to you all the time for advice. And, so I listen to the people who've done it and who aren't afraid to be honest with me. And then I also self-mentor through, books and courses and all of that. But if you're committed to it, you can learn a lot by applying what you see around, what other people who are successful in the business are doing.
Right. I
So,
mean, that thirst for knowledge. I mean, that's a very wise thing, Blessing, because
yeah,
so many people have been there and done it. Maybe not exactly what you're doing, but
right.
learning from other people and respecting their opinions. It's very, very
Absolutely.
wise. Yeah.
Yeah, for
What
sure.
I mean, you deal in branding and website development and creating people's visions online. I love asking you this question. Would you care to share some branding tips for people who are maybe at that phase? They're looking to start a business. They don't know where to go. They don't know how to do all this. So let's talk a
Yeah.
little about branding.
Well, my
Like,
number one thing,
what is branding to you?
honestly, it's figuring out your audience and trying to speak to them. A lot of people try to appeal to everyone,
Hmm.
and that's not what you should do. You need to carve out a niche. You need to know who you're speaking to and then appeal to them. So, strong brands are magnetic. They attract the right people and they repel the wrong ones.
Hmm.
So if you're trying to speak to everyone, you don't really have a strong brand. So be consistent. Make sure you know the people you actually want to speak to. Make sure your online presence reflects the quality you're delivering and be bold. There's nothing wrong with taking risks, but be consistent and make sure that you're attracting the right people. So start by knowing who your audience is my advice.
Right. It's not just the logo,
Yeah.
right? Having a good brand. It's all encompassing from your business cards, the way you interact online and in person. It all speaks to that professionalism.
Yes, absolutely. Definitely. So many people think it's just a logo and it's not.
Oh yeah, yeah. What about some money or cash flow tips? You're juggling a family, you're building
Mhm.
your businesses. How is that going when the time comes to paying for supplies or services?
Well, I would say that you should separate your personal and business finances right away. That is the biggest mistake I think a lot of people make is
Mm,
combining things. But separate your business finances right away. Pay yourself something, even if it's small. And remember that profit is more important than revenue. So don't look at the big sale numbers. It really means nothing if you're not keeping any of it. So, you know, just separate things and remember to track your profits properly, not just revenue.
right, right. That's some good tips as well, for sure.
Mhm,
And let's talk about something that you loved, like building multiple revenue streams. Like, how do you
mhm.
build multiple revenue streams, Blessing, without burning out? You talk about like
Honestly,
time management.
yeah,
How do you focus on
honestly,
all that?
honestly, it's been about streamlining and automating a lot of things. So, thankfully, AI has made things easy, but before AI, it was all about having processes, automating, streamlining, and trying to do things in a way where I could run things remotely or with a smaller team if needed.
Hmm.
Um, I would say that's my biggest thing. It's just trying to balance everything equally.
Right. So two questions now is you talked a bit about AI, and I'll touch on that in a moment. But you talked about processes. Would you say processes are still as important as they were 5 years ago, or how has the concept of processes changed because of AI?
Hmm. I think it's only made it easier. Processes are very important to me. I love documenting what it takes, the steps it takes. And now AI can help you fill in the blanks and it can help you improve on it. So you can tell AI what you're currently doing, ask it for help on how to streamline that
Hmm.
and make it better. So AI has actually made it a lot easier for businesses right now, I
Wow.
would say.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What about like so? How would you care to share some tips on how you use AI in your day to day? Because I'm sure there's people out there who don't use AI much still.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
they'll probably change in a few years, but
yeah. I mean, in my day to day, honestly, I utilize ChatGPT. I've done it in a more complex way because I actually built little robots that I've trained on certain things. So for example, I have an AI that I would use as my virtual assistant, and this AI person is connected to my calendar and my email. It, you know, summarizes my day, tells me what I need to do. I tell it my to-do list. It helps me prioritize them by urgency and deadlines. I also have AI that I use for copywriting or idea ideas, trying to come up with solutions for issues that I might be having at work or at home. I'm someone who uses AI for a lot. So I use ChatGPT. There are many AI tools that I use because I am into digital marketing. I have a lot going on. So I have AI that helps with generating images. I have AI that helps with writing emails. I have AI that helps with social media captions and little things like that. So there is an overwhelming amount of AI tools out there, but my advice would be to start with ChatGPT, and then you could eventually use that to discover more tools to improve your time and your, you know, productivity.
sure, that's so cool. Or if we work with somebody like you who already knows all this stuff,
Right.
obviously.
Yeah.
So Blessing, the power of quote done is better than perfect. I know that your website in a day approach tends to use that. Can you elaborate a bit on that, please?
Well, a lot of people think that in order to start, they have to launch with 100% perfection.
Hmm.
But it's actually hurting your business if you're taking too long to start. You need to start with where you are. Put up something. If it's just a one page with your logo, your contact, a form, a little bit of information about how to reach you, it's better than having no online presence, because while you're waiting to perfect it, you're losing leads, you're losing
Yes.
customers, you're losing visibility, brand awareness. So it's better to just start and work on things and improve upon it as you go along. That's what I always advise people, is to start, and once you start, you can constantly make tweaks and all of that.
Oh, for sure. It reminds me when I first launched, I didn't have a graphic design background. I didn't know too many people back in 2011. So for Saxpeel, I just went online and I found this little cheap business card. And when I look at it now, it's horrendous. I'd be so embarrassed to get that out. And I went through I had 6 or 7 or 8 versions of business cards until where we got today. But you're right, just get something out there to start because you could always tweak it better.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. What about scaling with systems and automation while maintaining quality? Does that use the AI? It keeps getting better as the more you become familiar with it, or
um I would say that if you have the right tools, it can really take you far.
mm,
So I would, with the use of AI, with AI, you can really do so much. So just let it know what the gaps are in your business and ask it for ideas on how to fill it, and give it your information, and it will help you with filling out those blanks, maybe showing you the blind spots, and then of course don't rush things. You can take your time, because it's important to not burn out. If you try to do too much at once, you might definitely crash and burn, and that is not what that is not what we're trying to
no,
accomplish at all.
because everything we're doing as entrepreneurs is so that we'll stay in business in 5 or 10 years from now.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, that
Absolutely.
leads us great to our next question. Creating businesses that work around your life. How? We talked a bit about like work-life balance before, but can you walk us through a day? Like, do you specify certain times of the day for certain tasks? Um, like, how does that work? Because a lot of people have families.
Yeah. So typically I have a time frame that I work. So I would say 9 to 4. And I prioritize my tasks by urgency, deadlines, and I just put them all out and I say, okay, I'm gonna do these by 12 o'clock. Then I'm gonna take a break. I'm going to rest. I'm gonna get some house things done. And then I continue. So I like to split my day in little time blocks. And I
Hmm.
put it on my calendar. So if you see my calendar, there's a time block from 1 to 2, and I know exactly what I'm supposed to be working on during that time. And then at the end of my day, um, I summarize what I was able to accomplish and then move the remaining things to the next day. And then I make sure I get those tasks done before the new ones that happen to come into my inbox overnight. So it's just a lot of time management and blocking time for yourself and for the things that you need to get done. I have to do my daycare pickup by a certain time. I have to, make dinner for my family. And I put that all in my calendar. So I know exactly what I'm working on. It might be a little bit type A, but that's how, that is how I am able to do so much because I am just juggling a million things at once at this point.
Right, right. Actually,
So,
in terms of the like time management tips, the way I work, Blessing, is in the middle of the night. Maybe people do this. I keep a little notepad on the side of your bed, or I text myself or email myself rather one item that's in my head, and I know in the morning I wake up. Oh, I already have a to-do list of things to do, so it frees your head up. You don't have to think about it anymore.
yeah, absolutely. For
Yeah.
sure.
Blessing, let's talk about. I mean, you've had many successes so far, and many more down the road in your career. But let's talk about some of the successes you're most proud of so far.
Oh, well, definitely my family. I love that I was able to build my businesses, but I love my little boy. I have became a mom last year, and that is honestly my biggest accomplishment. But other than that, building a profitable business while being a mom and doing it without investors or a massive team has been such a huge accomplishment to me. I just, I honestly sometimes don't know how I did it, but it makes me very proud to know that I wasn't able, or I didn't drop any balls. I didn't do it at the expense of my family. So it makes me very proud. I'm very proud of my photo boot company. I started it from scratch, all alone. I was pregnant. I honestly don't know how I did that. So I'm very proud of my photo booth company, and now we're branching out to providing equipment and supplies to help other photo booth companies in Canada. And we're the first to really do that in Canada. So I'm very proud of doing all of this while becoming a mom.
Wow, that's such an inspiration for so many people. I mean, when people think, "Oh, I'm already starting a young family and I don't have time or the mental capacity to do this," you're an inspiration. I mean, you should be doing more speeches,
Oh,
helping people out to learn about these sort of things. It's really important, Blessing. So keep up the
thank
good
you,
work on
Jared.
that.
Thank you.
Let's talk a bit about like we talked about like resiliency, adapting to the circumstances. What about some of the challenges? Would you care to chat about some of the challenges of starting a young family, juggling different, you know,
Well,
commitments?
yeah. I mean, I've had struggles because I myself am an immigrant, and although I've been a Canadian citizen for 15 plus years, I am from Nigeria. So I did marry a Nigerian man, and so the process of immigrating him to join me was very long and difficult to juggle with starting the business and all of that. So it was definitely a journey to be pregnant without my partner due to the immigration process, while trying to start the photo booth business and all the things that I had on my plate. So it was very difficult to do that. That was a huge hurdle, being a single pregnant woman with all of the things I had to do. And then, of course, I've had launches that flopped or clients that disappeared. It's really the biggest lesson for me was to pivot very quickly and just accept that, failure is just an opportunity to grow, to take the feedback, use it, and keep on moving. That's what I
Yeah.
had to do.
I mean, those are tough lessons, but like
Yeah,
you said earlier, like in branding, not everybody's going to be your client.
absolutely.
And realizing that and focusing on the positive. Um, yeah, I mean, if you're comfortable talking about mental health, like because people watching this segment, they
Mm,
want, like I said, it's honest, hard-hitting entrepreneur wisdom. So let's talk about mental health. That until probably the last 5 years or so, it wasn't talked that as much.
that's right. That's true. Honestly, the biggest thing for me is rest. I see it as an important, almost like a business strategy, honestly. It's important to rest. Burnout does not help anyone.
Mm.
So, like I mentioned before, I schedule my downtime and I try to be fully present where I am. So, whether I'm with my family or I'm at work with a client, I make sure that I schedule my downtime so that I can get some rest and take care of myself. So, I always encourage people to not run on empty, but take a step back and take a break whenever you can.
Yeah, it's like walking through the forest. People say, seeing the trees through the forest. It's
Yes.
yeah, yeah, like taking a
Yeah.
break and seeing with different eyes.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, Blessing, what's next for you? Where do you see yourself in a few years, and for the business or
For
businesses?
the businesses, well, my primary focus is building my agency, Web Wonder Girl. So I would love for that to be the go-to for women entrepreneurs who need a website that works for them, as well as
Mhm.
branding. I also see myself doing more creative projects that light me up, whether it's starting new businesses. I love starting projects. I love project management, being creative. So I would love to do more of that and not just be stuck in the business doing the work. I
Mm.
love business development, developing ideas. So I would love to do that more professionally. And
Yeah,
then maybe teaching other people, and speaking and teaching them how I started and helping them do it in a easier, more efficient way, because I had to struggle to get where I was, to get where I am. And I want to help other people get there faster.
right. That's very worthwhile. You mentioned you didn't want to see yourself struggling in the business. I mean, I'm
Mm,
sure many of our viewers or listeners rather have heard, the difference between working in the business or working on the business.
yes.
Yeah, it's really important to work on the business, like we talked a bit about the processes or the direction or
Yes.
all the not sexy stuff behind the scenes.
Yes, and it's hard as a business owner to delegate sometimes because
Yeah,
you just feel that you will do it better. So you have to trust your team and the people around you. Delegate. That's also very helpful for your mental health. You need to, you know, offload the things that are stressing you out to someone who's more equipped to take care of that.
yeah, and like we
So,
said before, it comes down to the trust factor.
yes.
Yeah. So, Blessing, we're almost near the end of our segment today. Is there something that we've touched on that you'd like to elaborate further, or do you have any other words of wisdom for our listeners?
Honestly, my biggest thing is encouraging other people to get started, not wait for perfection
Mm,
because it doesn't exist. Start where you are, use what you have, be consistent, make relationships. Consistency will take you way farther than perfection ever will. So just sit down, think about what you want to accomplish, and start somewhere. So that's something I want people to understand, because I've always been someone who takes risk, and I just, like I mentioned, I love starting projects. So if I have an idea, I will start it. It doesn't matter if it doesn't work out. Just start wherever you are and use what you have. There's no need to wait for the perfect time, because it might never come. You never know what happens tomorrow. So that would be my advice for anyone out there who's thinking about getting started on your dreams or your goals. Don't wait for perfect. Just get started.
Just start somewhere. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can always make it better later.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Blessing. How can somebody get in touch with you, please?
Oh, well, you can find me on my website, webwondergirl.com, and on social media at webwondergirl as well. And my email is hello@webwondergirl.com.
Oh, that's wonderful. And so people can find out more about you from all your different activities and interests
Yes,
through your website.
yes, and find me on LinkedIn, Facebook. I'm there.
Wonderful. Well, thank you
Yeah.
so much, Blessing. I'd like to thank you for joining us on this episode of Talk to the Fedora. And we hope that this segment has provided some wisdom that you can use to grow your small business. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, our eSAX YouTube channel, and be sure to check out some of the hundreds of other videos on entrepreneurial content. So thank you so much for your time today, Blessing. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Jared. Thank you.